the Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy, you're invited. Come on in. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Blessings, blessings. Hit that like button.
The East is where we're from.
Shalom.
The 12 tribes of Israel.
721 BC.
In 721 BC, the Assyrian king, he took us down, we fell. With the great escape, we went through the Euphrates.
Lord.
The Lord held the water still. To a land where no mankind dwelt, we went. The 12 tribes of Israel. That's who we be, we be. Manasseh, the Cubans, Ephraim from Puerto Rico, and Valley from the Isles of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel.
Hit that like button.
Panama, the North American Indians, Simeon, the Dominicans, the highest gathering Israel.
Blessings, 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 brothers and sisters throughout the four corners of the earth. I am Elder Ricard Shiara of the Gathering of Christ Church, and yes, we are on the watch. Now, I can't be on too long tonight. Blessings to my brothers and sisters throughout the four corners of the earth. In the name of Ahaya Ba'ashim Yeshaya, where we walk, I'm gonna let y'all know what we're gonna be discussing on the other side with phone calls, okay? And then we're going to segue over. I'm Elder Ricard Shiar of the Gathering of Christ Church here with our weekly Patreon update. Let's go in before segue in. Brothers and sisters, we talked about what? Last Wednesday, a few days ago, the racial tensions in America, how it's being engineered. A lot of people out there didn't understand why are black people treated such when, hey, we mind our own business, and usually any harming we do when it comes to harming others is usually against one another. Like any other demographic who primarily live around their particular race, right? So we start to ask these questions like, well, hold up. Why is it that it seems like all these other nations hate us for no reason, right? We're not doing anything to anyone. And then we were able to unpack Wednesday. We unpacked that what? Esau is small amongst the heathen. That's right. They're lower in number than any other people. And because of that, they cannot just use brute force. Mano on mano. Why? Because they don't have the numbers. Well, if they don't have the numbers, but yet they're on top, How do they stay on top? That's right. They use psychology. They use biowarfare. They use different tactics to have us what? Gender wars and all these others to keep us infighting against one another. Okay? And I'm going to show a little bit of that today. And I'm putting this out there to say what? To show our people how to navigate through it. They bank on our ignorance. That's what they bank on. They bank on, number one, our ignorance. Number two, the fact that we trust more than any people. And our naivety. Okay? So again, Hosea 4:6 says our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. And guess what? Maybe you all can point out a few tactics they've used to keep all nations under order that I haven't mentioned yet. But all in all, we must navigate through Jacob's trouble, knowing Satan's tactics. What he give the Gentiles, he utilized through the Gentiles to indirectly attack us. Another thing that I didn't mention Wednesday, I didn't mention what? The religions that they are in control of. Another indirect way of destroying our people. We are the children of Israel. We're supposed to have one God, one belief, and they have destroyed us through divide and conquer. That's right, dispersing us through all these different religions. Islam have never benefited us. It benefited the people who carried Islam, the Arabs. Modern day Christianity never benefited us. Outside of the iteration we created separate from them. Okay? So again, that was another thing I failed to mention Wednesday, but I'm going to let that be. We're going to keep that conversation on the other side. Brothers and sisters, let me unfold what we're going to talk about before letting you know what's coming up for the next academy. I would also like to say shalom to my brothers and sisters throughout the four corners of the earth. And I pray that you are safe with what's going on the East Coast from Toronto, winds blowing into the East Coast, destroying the air quality. Stay safe, because you know this is going to lead to what? Respiratory issues that's going to run people into the hospital, and through the hospitals you may get diagnosed. So be careful. Guess what? There's a lot going out there that we're going to talk about when it comes to the air quality. Is some of this engineered? We're going to talk about that too, right? But before I go in, let me first break this down real quick out of the book of 2nd Baruch. As you can see continually, brothers and sisters, I drive this home over and over again so to let brothers and sisters understand the prophetic times we're in. There's 12 particular scenarios, events, or prophecies that will continue and even escalate, brothers and sisters, as we navigate through Jacob's trouble. These are the 12. And he answered and said unto me, into 12 parts is this time divided, and each of them is reserved for that which is appointed for it. The first is the beginning of commotions. Always there's some type of commotion going on in the news, like racial tensions. You'll hear about that. And these are the things that Esau also engineered to keep what? To keep the infighting going, to keep the fighting going, to provoke us into an altercation. Second part, there should be slaying of the great ones. You'll be hearing in the news how our people are being killed, especially the black man. being slayed as a regular news cycle. We hear this and are desensitized to it. We're going to be hearing more of that. And in the third part, the fall of many by death. Mass shootings, right? Some may be engineered. Some, now they call anything a mass shooting now. And it could be through war and all these other things. COVID, anyone? In the fourth part, the sending of the sword. So in the midst of everything, we'll hear of more wars like Iran. Okay? Like the Iranian war that they cease. They're not even talking about the continual war at a time when we thought a couple of weeks ago that it was a ceasefire. It never stopped, folks. The fifth, famine. Because of the war, because of what's going on in the Middle East, guess what? You got it. Oil prices go up and all of this, no fertilizer, and eventually there will be a lack of bread. And withholding of rain. The withholding of rain. Weather warfare, like they're utilizing now in the earth. You can look that up on your own. And in the sixth part, earthquakes and terrors, like the earthquakes we've just heard about. And in the eighth part, listen to this, a multitude of specters and attacks of the Shadim. Demon attacks. An uptick on what? You got it. Mental health issues. And a lot of people, you have to look at the side effects that came from some of that stuff. Mental illness is one of the side effects, if you know what I'm talking about. So a lot of this unexplained aggression we're seeing could be engineered through some of the stuff that was placed in people while they're ramping up 5G, 6G. Hey, it seems as if we are in one big experiment project. That's right, Project Paperclip, anyone? On steroids. And in the ninth part, what we're seeing now, the fall of fire. Fires all over the place. And the 10th part, rapine and much oppression. Austerity, which means what? It's hard to come by finances like we once were able to in the past. Jobs are drying up. Finances are drying up. Oppression. Now, once oppression happens, what happens? Well, usually prostitution goes up. And in the 11th part, wickedness and unchastity. Because times are hard, people have to resort to what? Things they wouldn't do normally to survive. And usually what that is, women, girls are taught to use their bodies. And in the 12th part, listen to this, confusion and the mingling together of all those things aforesaid. Now I'm going here to set the table for our broadcast today on the other side with Patreon when it comes to being on the watch. So these are the things we have to keep our eyes on. So to navigate through our current Jacob's trouble, brothers and sisters. Now, when I talked about the other day, when I discussed the other day that Esau used tactics knowing that he don't have the birth rates, that he understand that what? With each generation, Esau is becoming smaller and smaller. So I asked, well, what type of tactics are utilized that we were probably ignorant of, right? So we're going to put a few things out there so that people can what? Become aware of Satan's devices, right? The example I can give you is a BBC article from 2012, after they've already administered what they did in Israel on these Ethiopian girls. But yet, they didn't report this until a year later. What am I talking about here? In Israel, the state of Israel in 2012, Israeli Ethiopian birth control to be examined. What you mean? I thought these people were coming over to get a better life and all of that, going into Israel as black Ethiopian Jews, but yet there was a caveat. There was what? A prerequisite for them entering into the state of Israel. Israel Health Ministry is to investigate why contraceptive injections were widely given to the Ethiopian immigrant women. Without their knowledge. So they came in for a better life, and they was told, well, hey, if you're going to come in, of course you have to get your regular schedule stuff so that we're all safe, right? Not realizing that they were getting birth controls shot in them without their permission. See, this is a way you can do what? You can keep the birth rates at a certain level because Esau birth rates are dwindling. So we really have to examine the tactics of Esau on how to navigate through trouble. Understand this. None of these people thought that this is what they were signing up with when they entered into another country who welcomed them with open arms. So you have to understand this is how Esau thinks. So we must be a few steps ahead of them. Even when they're giving us something, what is the exchange? Right? So I'm putting this out there so that our people become aware before making choices that you cannot take back, that you think is something small. Oh yeah, you can't go into Africa unless you get this shot or malaria and all that stuff. And I go to the doctor and I say, listen, I'm not down with that. Okay. If I get malaria over there, I'm fine because I'm sure the people in the town who live there, I'm just telling you how I deal with. Okay. If I go into Africa, another country, I don't take that stuff. I don't want that stuff. They'd be like, well, you got to go there. I'm like, listen, I'll take the risk on me. Because why? I'd rather deal with the risk concerning what I know than the risk of doing something or taking something that I don't understand the long-term effects of. Okay? That's me. Now your temple is your temple. But God says that we're not supposed to put anything unclean in our bodies. So listen, I don't mind doing it if I see the ingredients. And if the ingredients is what the Bible say that we must take, ingest, or whatever the case is, then it's lawful for it to enter my temple. And these are the thoughts I have understanding how Esau operates. You don't know the damage until it's done later. Okay, that's number one. Now, real quick, I just want to put that out there. I say, why is Esau so obsessed with the black man? Some of these so-called white people who live amongst other white people, black people aren't doing anything to them. And now I figured it out, folks. They're small amongst the heathen, and they're losing out based on the World Wide Web has actually engaged Esau to a degree where he cannot control his own people anymore. And a lot of his women are coming looking for black men. Straight out. Now, this have nothing. That's the reality of it. And Esau is looking at this and saying, if our daughters don't have white children, we will be erased out of existence for the foreseeable future and will become the minority of the earth. The minority in America, in the Western world. So I wonder why they were always right? Like, for instance, you got this guy who was running around like Chud the Builder, who's locked up, crashed out online, started speaking things about the young man that was killed, started speaking things about the young man. Right? Hold on. One second. Hold on one second here. Let me grab it here. He started speaking things, brothers and sisters, against Nolan Wells, mocking Nolan Wells, saying that he can't swim and all these others. And I'm like, what is the obsession with these white men who we aren't even thinking about? Why do they celebrate when we lose one of our young men, the best and or the brightest? Folks, it's about self-preservation as far as they're concerned. Well, the guy lost his job posting this crap online, and may the Most High do what he have to do with people like this. Okay? And that the Most High judge people like this. But understand, folks, they are seeking to provoke our people into a violent confrontation. They're mad at us because they blame us and our God for something we have nothing to do with. Okay? We can't help it that they're smaller amongst all races of people. We can't help that because of the environment they created, that now their children want to mimic us and are attracted to us. This is the environment they have created that our children must navigate through now, because they created this, but now they're losing their children because of it, because their children are emulating and want to be with us. So because of this, we can't change who Esau is because he's on top. But all in all, we must navigate through their devices. Speaking of their devices, fair use. Fair use. Look what happened 9 years ago. Fair use.
Accused of setting a devastating wildfire. A California man is under arrest accused of setting a devastating wildfire that disrupted the lives of thousands of people. The Clayton fire in Northern California has destroyed more than 175 buildings.
175 buildings destroyed 9 years ago by an arsonist. Now, folks, do you think this was just a lone arsonist? Or is this a part of the Marxist manifesto? I'm going to go over the Marxist manifesto on the other side, folks. What is that? Well, if you can't take out a people, if you can't legislate them out of what? If you cannot legislate them out of giving up their right to protect themselves, then they must fight in other ways. If they can't fight directly because they know America has a standing army as its citizenry that's armed, they'll take them out other ways under a Marxist Manifesto. A lot of people don't know. Barack Obama came up under the school of Marxism. 9 years ago, an arsonist took out parts of California. Where we're going with this. What happens here? Fair use. Look what's happening right now. I mean, look, a year ago, they found out on Fox News, they found out that one of the so-called immigrants that came over the border, arsonists, was starting fire, like it says in scripture, to cause chaos, to also cause what? You got it. Bad air, engineered lockdowns, respiratory issues. This is how you take down a people who you cannot fight directly. That's right, folks. More. What we have here, fair use, 9 months ago.
Welcome back. We want to take you to California right now because just moments ago, officials there gave an update into January's Palisades fire and their investigation. Let's listen into what they had to say.
We are announcing the arrest of 29-year-old Jonathan Rinderknecht for igniting a fire that ultimately burned.
Jonathan Rinderknecht. Remember that name. 9 months ago, fires broke out
down the Palisades earlier this year, killing 12 people, destroying more than 6,800 structures, both homes and businesses, and damaging over 1,000 more buildings. The complaint unsealed today charges the defendant with destruction of property by means of fire.
They say that.
There he go right there. Folks, look at him. Where do you think he's from? Where do you think he's from? He's not an American citizen. He was let in through the United States during the time, he'd been here for a few years, during the time when they was letting immigrants in. On top of that, he has a French citizenship and caused all types of unrest where people had to leave their homes in the Palisades and all of that. 29 years old. Now check this out. Listen to this. Let's see what was the consequence for this arson. A mistrial declared in Palisades fire arson case. A stunning blow to the U.S. prosecutors. Caused many deaths. He was actually arrested after being caught for the arson, then released. Right? I need y'all to check this out. So now we go today, and now the air is bad throughout the whole East Coast. Taking away the peace of mind that one would normally have during the summertime. Destroying businesses who depend on the warm weather in order for their businesses to survive. See, the corporate businesses don't care about this, the corporations, because their businesses sustain because they're big enough to get through crisis. But the smaller mom and pop shops and all that, and the people who depend on the shore for who depend on their weekly earn just to survive through the summer, destroyed. So these are the tactics of Esau. Now, are we saying that there was arson in Toronto? No, we're not saying that. But what we are saying is that according to the Marxist manifesto, when you can't beat a country, you cause chaos and insurrection. That's right. Civil unrest, chaos, and destroy them from the inside out. Socialism. And guess what? Mondani in New York, he's a socialist. Socialism in its initial stages erupts as violent upheaval, looting, arson, and attacks on civil order. This is not incidental. They'll make you believe it's an accident, but by design, because it's rooted in the doctrine. This is what the prophets seen with Baruch, that you would have people in the earth who would seek chaos and cause civil unrest, evil Marxists who's looking to destroy all that's good. Okay? So be careful, navigate. Do not trust what they are telling you. They set traps. They set traps. What happens? Bad air. People are out there that have already been compromised through the last thing that happened a few years ago when they got the stuff. So now you're already compromised, and now the smoke comes from the fires that lead you into these hospitals. And some of these check-ins you don't check out. Jeremiah 5:26 says, "For among my people are found wicked men. They lay wait as he that setteth snares. They set a trap, and they catch men." So understand, the powers that be are seeking to provoke our people into a physical altercation. They're literally trying to smoke us out, and they don't care if they destroy their own people while doing so. Okay? I'm Elder Rick Karshiar. I'm on the watch, and we're going to talk about this and more on the other side through Patreon. We're going to do a call-in through Patreon. I'm also going to cover a few things that you probably didn't know what was in the Talmud on the other side. While we're on the watch, we navigate. And some people say, well, hold up. If you understand that Esau and the devil is planning all these things against society and our people, how can we be proactive and get in front of what they're doing? Well, folks, you have to realize the Bible tells us the weapons of our warfare are not carnal. There's nothing better they would love than for us to react radically, to call us terrorists. See? We can't do the things they do. They're trying to move us into what? Well, we're running around foolish and looking stupid like Chud the Builder, messing with innocent people who did nothing to us. They're trying to move us into that spirit. But what we do, I'm going to tell you, folks, the fact that you got Chud the Builder coming from behind the veil and other copycat guys like that fool the other day who started saying things about the young man who they claim drowned. They're getting desperate. They're getting desperate because we're not reacting like we used to. Our warfare is spiritual. There's nothing physical going on unless someone touch your person. Okay? As long as no one violate your space and put their hands on you, understand you're already winning by navigating their traps. That's how you do it. You stay linked in with the Most High. You follow the commandments of the Almighty, and you don't engage when they try to provoke you into going outside and marching and all this other stuff. You watch Babylon fall. If they want to cause chaos and destroy the economy and take their own empire down, guess what? Let them do so. But we'll save ourselves, okay, and not engage ourselves with the spiraling down of Babylon. That's why we're here on the watch to let you know. They'll do false flags. They are obsessed with us, especially the black man and especially the black woman. Why? Because through us, through our loins, the man's loins, we're birthing the next, that's right, dominion prophesied on earth. That's why they are obsessed with the black man's member. And what we're doing, they're always obsessed with the black woman and all that, not realizing, sisters, the birth controls and the healthcare system and all that, we're going to have to go back to natural. Because based on what I'm seeing, they've been targeting our women, our women wounds without us knowing. If they can do this to these sisters over in Ethiopia, you have to realize it's not just Ethiopia, folks. It's a numbers game for them. And they fear the multiplying of God's people on earth. And we have to always suspect, okay, is this stuff just in one thing or is it in everything? We don't know. You must figure that out and make a conscious choice on whether or not you trust the people, folks, whose survival, their survival, according to their doctrine, can lead to our extermination. So keep in mind, we navigate through this and let the heavens fight before us, and do not engage or believe anything they say when it comes to them giving us advice on what's best for us. Come out of her, my people. So I wanted to put that on there, put that out there. They're going to come with false flags. They're going to just agitate and try to, and we're doing the right thing, folks. Our people are starting through the Spirit of the Almighty, spending their money with their own people. Anyone that disrespects us, guess what? We're financially destroying them by not interacting with their businesses anymore. You're doing the right thing. We're minding our business, and now we're minding our business and on top of that, without being ignorant to their devices. We don't trust them no more. We don't trust what they say in schools. We don't trust what they say in these doctors' offices and all these other places. We don't trust them. We must verify everything. We must verify everything before allowing something to enter our temple based on these people who we thought at one point that we could trust. We trust in the Almighty and Christ, and we save ourselves alive by putting all of our trust in Him. Okay? With that, let me mention we're getting so many. Brothers and sisters, we're getting so many. Let me put it up here. So many of our people who are part of the academy is giving us, hold on, let me put it up here. The responses we've gotten from this academy, folks, is off the chains. It's off the chains. Week 1 of the academy, we went in. Straight precepts showing what? The first war, the beginning of the war. The spiritual war in us that's made manifest on earth. We went into there and we're going to identify the seed and the serpent. We're going into the rise of the rebellion, the first empire of Cain before the flood. Why did God send the flood? Well, folks, when we go into this lesson this Sunday, you'll understand how close we are to the Most High sending the fire. This coming Sunday. The enrollments are still open. It's only week 1. You can enroll. If you're busy Sunday, you can still see the particular Wednesday's broadcast, the news, the academy Hebrew, and everything with the lesson at your convenience any time during the week. If you have to do something Sunday and can't be there with us, it's okay. When you digress at night for Sunday, if you got to work the rest of the week, that's fine. You got your Sunday off. When you get home, you can still just throw the academy on and we'll make it available to you through the links. Also, we're working on the app and all that. It'll be coming soon. We had to deal with the technical points in the background, and we didn't want to delay the academy another week because of it. So we went with the old model, but the academy will transition into the new platform before the 3 months are done. That's right. Support the work, support the academy, the seed and the serpent, tracing the war between truth and deception. And you're going to understand the spirit behind all of these people who've come into our neighborhoods calling themselves merchants. I don't care if they're East Indians. I don't care if they're Chinese. Guess what? They're following an old model that was placed before them. The old model, the original merchants were the synagogue of Satan. They just moved out of the way and got behind the Gentiles to push the same model that destroy us in our communities. That's right. All of the religions that are connected to the merchants of the stores are the same religion at its core. Babylonian, these are Satanists and Luciferians that they're moving amongst our people. Now, are all these people evil or wrong? No. If all the people they sent was evil or wrong, guess what? They wouldn't have no people to hide behind. So yeah, this ain't all East Indians. It ain't all Asians. It's not all Jewish people, but it's too many. It's too many that don't mean us good long term. Okay, so because of that, we in the academy is going to identify the core spirit behind all of their religions in this academy. They'll send the good people over who are nice village people who just want to work, but then they'll have their Satanists come along with them so that we don't know the difference. So how do we navigate through that? Well, we're going to talk about that in the academy. They always hide behind the unsuspected. But they all, at the end of it, they all are working together under that same spirit. So we must navigate through this, and we must identify and set the terms on engagement going forward. No longer will we allow the outside to dictate our path. You understand that? If you're going to give your money to anyone, you set the terms. A just weight for a just measure. You're not going to get my money out there on these stores and all that without an exchange. Without an exchange, we can be proud of understanding that there's an appreciation that comes with our hard earned. It's time for you to set the terms. The Gentiles are in the earth, and guess what? We have to do business with them. We have to do business with them, okay? We're in a world where in order to do business, you must interact with them. But you interact wise as serpents, harmless as doves, and you set the terms always as God's people. We have to stop interacting with these people as if what? They're better than us. We have to stop interacting with them as if what? They are entitled to what belongs to us. Okay? A mind shift is happening, and I thank the Most High for it. You're going to appreciate anything you get from God's people. You should be happy that you even around God's people. Okay? So with that, I'm going to the other side. Blessings. I only got 1 hour on the other side. We're going to go through a few things. You want to talk about our broadcast Wednesday? I'm bringing in Zoom and all of that on the other side. And we're going to discuss a few things that a lot of you didn't know was in the Talmud. With that, may the Most High be with you. I'm Elder Ricard Shiar. Stay prayed up, sin not. Shabbat Shalom. And yes, I'm on the watch. See you on the other side. Shalom. HistoryTimes.org. I want to see you in that academy.
The Arabs and Africans told us, together our wives and children then sold us. In the belly of these great ships we traveled in fear. By the rivers of Babylon we found our brothers here. Together us in Colombia, Reuben from Australia, Issachar, the Mexicans, highest gathering Israel, Judah, the Negroes, Benjamin, the West Indians, Levi, the Haitians, highest gathering Israel. In Colombia, Reuben from Australia, Issachar, the Mexicans. That's who we be. Judah, the Negroes, Benjamin, the West Indians,